Hello, my name is Ted Burnett. I'm an American philosopher and writer. Welcome to talk number 10. Some of you may be wondering, who is Ted Burnett? I hope this video might answer that question. Some of you knew me while growing up from having attended the same Catholic schools, or from having gone to college with me, or maybe we crossed paths at some point afterwards. You may think that you can answer this question. While the rest of you don't know me, I hope that this talk will serve as an icebreaker for everyone in helping you to better understand me and where I'm coming from as I move forward in producing more of these videos and documentaries and sharing them with you. I hope what I'm doing inspires you to rethink what's possible in your own life, to become creative, to grow your comfort zone by taking the necessary risk that's required to make life good, to make life great, to make life more interesting and fun, even while it's imperfect. That's what I want for myself, and that's what I wish for you. While I was born in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, where my parents first met while attending the university, I celebrated my first birthday and the next 17 right here in Mobile. It took me 9 years to complete 8 grades at St. Ignatius Catholic School, and that's excluding kindergarten. School would prove difficult for me. I began having noticeable problems as early as the 2nd grade. At the age of 7, I was tested and diagnosed with dyslexia. That's what I remember the psychometrist out at South Alabama saying to my mother and me, and nothing more. For the next 25 years, I would come to know all too well the downside of this learning disability. I attended summer school for 3 consecutive years, beginning in the 3rd grade, and it was capped off with the nightmarish experience of having to repeat the 5th grade at the suggestion of my teachers. This was a traumatic event for me. From the 4th grade through my last year at Auburn, I would need the help of tutors in order to pass some of my toughest courses and to get my diploma and later my bachelor's degree. When I came out of college, I had high hopes that going to work for myself would turn out better than my experience as a student in school. It didn't. After 1 year, I found myself in the job market where I was hired on by Georgia Pacific Corporation in Atlanta, Georgia. There, I met my first wife, Lisa, at work, but my time there was brief and little else was accomplished. This was the case for the rest of my sales career. I worked for 7 different companies in 9 years where I was fired 4 times. The primary reason for my firing could be attributed to my dyslexia, which continued to make writing and public speaking very difficult. I've never actively looked for another job since losing my last one in 2004. Early on, my career struggles created financial struggles, which led me to having a nervous breakdown while getting married in April of 2002. Our 5-year marriage didn't stand a chance with this illness, its toll on me, its stigma, and the attitudes of family, friends, and neighbors. However, there was one bright spot. Following my first hospitalization, I began writing for the first time ever at the age of 32. Noticing such a dramatic change in my ability, I took an online IQ test where I scored a 142, which was up from 100 in the 8th grade. That same year, in May of 2002, Fortune magazine published a cover story on CEOs with dyslexia. My boss at the time, Bobby Friedrich, turned me on to the story. For the first time since being diagnosed in the 2nd grade, I read the childhood accounts of Sir Richard Branson, Cisco CEO John Chambers, investor Charles Schwab, and attorney David Boies. Like me, all had struggled in school, only to become wildly successful in business. I knew that there was finally a reason to be hopeful when all those around me thought my life was over. However, any success that I was to have, it wouldn't be immediate. I would have to trudge along through life for 5 more years. In August of 2006, my wife came home from work one day and she said that she wanted out of our marriage. I was devastated by the news. I had no compelling argument for why she should stay, and thus I put up no resistance. Having not worked in 2 years and lost in life, I was living on her dime for my very existence. Her departure would have huge implications on my life. At the time, I was in graduate school, and her declaration would trigger another manic episode for me. She took a long road trip up to the Carolinas to see family and to scope out a new life. Within a month, I was manic, and I was taking a road trip of my own through 3 states and back before getting arrested by police. I spent the night in Mobile's Metro jail before being hospitalized for the next 3 weeks. Upon my release and cleared to return back to class, I learned that the faculty in my master's program for counseling didn't want me back because of an email that I had sent to my classmates while in the midst of my temporary insanity. Even the university president refused to intervene on my behalf. In December, we put our house up for sale, and within a month we had an acceptable offer. At the end of January 2007, we closed on our house, and the movers came to load up her stuff, which was bound for Raleigh, North Carolina. From reading the tea leaves, I figured my best bet was to get out of Mobile and start over in Daphne. While my world had just fallen apart, ironically, I finally got my first real opportunity to pursue a childhood dream that I had long forgotten about, and that dream was to serve in our government at the highest levels. Due to dyslexia and later bipolar disorder, I was forced to take a less desired path through life. By the age of 36, I had already failed out of the corporate world. I had gotten kicked out of graduate school, and I was on my way to getting a divorce, all while being abandoned by family and friends alike. With no career, no job, and no paycheck, I was inspired to write about my 5-year marriage and my experience with mental illness. I would go on to produce a 50,000-word rough draft before shelving the story. It was the most writing I'd ever done in my entire life, and it gave me much needed confidence to pursue my passion for politics. What followed was an unscripted journey over the past 7 years, resulting in me producing over 90 political and social commentaries. Most writers, both new and old, might see the goal of writing be to get their name and their work published in any well-known newspaper, magazine, or journal at the local, regional, or national level. I saw my situation differently. Having no degree in journalism no professional experience with writing, and all these organizations having gatekeepers to keep types like mine out, I chose a different route. I knew that I had a lot to say, so I didn't want to keep shopping my essays everywhere there were different audiences, and no one seen any continuity in my work. I chose instead to build my own audience while taking a virtual tour around the world. I built a first-class audience, which now stands at over 18,000 contacts, including 2,400 in LinkedIn. My work has garnered me much praise. It's been shared and even quoted by top faculty and grad students at some of the world's best universities. Along the way, I've added heads of state, CEOs with Fortune 500 companies, federal lawmakers and judges, major foundations and policy institutes. This unanticipated success has inspired me to tackle my other dreaded nemesis, public speaking. Today with this video, I take another step towards my dream in national politics. It's my desire to communicate to this audience using this new media, allowing you an opportunity to see me or to hear me in a way that can't be conveyed through essays alone. The goal for me is to improve my skills and to master public speaking while continuing to offer honest, insightful, and provocative commentary on a host of subjects that interest me. Another motivating factor for shooting these videos and documentaries has come in the form of requests to appear on radio shows and to speak at a conference in Las Vegas this past year. I passed on both offers. So here I am doing my 10th video, sharing my life while chasing a dream. I hope you're chasing your dreams, and if not, I hope my story proves to you that it's never too late to get started. So until next time, I'm Ted Burnett, and I thank you for your time.